balls that are very close to each other in hook, so you don't want to buy a lot of the same thing. Same in the strong sharp category. When you've got that Criterion Hybrid, Black Widow Mania, that entire area, those bowling balls are pretty much going to do the same thing in a lot of situations, so don't buy multiple. If you have any questions about the list, or do you have anything you want to change, please let me know down below in the comments. I'll answer any questions you guys have. I'd recommend saving this chart.
The Doran sisters as bookends. Tonight's finalists have 43 PWBA titles among them and feature 2 players who have won the Player of the Year honor twice. The action heats up as ESPN presents the Track Triton TKO Open next. Outside of Toledo at the interstate lane for the Track Triton TKO Open. Hello everyone, I'm Leandra Riley and I do not envy the Doran household this evening. I'm sure Mr. and Mrs. Doran have tossed a coin to decide which parent is going to cheer for which daughter. Joining me now in this telecast, as she does every week, is our own Jan Schmidt. And Jan, let's talk about the first half of that bookend, Kathy Doran. Now this is the 5th time she's finished in the top 10, but she hasn't won a national title yet.
No, but she's having a great year, and Kathy works very hard on her game. One of the big changes for her was a grip change at the end of last year. It was huge. As she put it, it gave her a career. Now, she also has a new outlook on her bowling and a new mental attitude. We'll hear from her about that later.
The number 4 qualifier is Jackie Miscavige. Her last title was in 1996. But during the little hiatus between the summer swing and the fall tour, Jackie and a handful of other women bowlers went ahead and won the World Team Challenge. Quite an accomplishment.
It was, and she also won a regional in Van Wert, Ohio. And Jackie's a field-type player. She struggles with her timing, and that affects her confidence. I think the success over the last couple of weeks has really helped her this week, and it'll give her something to draw from tonight.
All right, the most competitive bowler is in our number 3 position. That is Tish Johnson. Already she has won 22 national championships, but she wants to be the number 1 person when it comes to the all-time career titles list.
She sure does. It would be her 2nd title this year if she wins tonight, but more important, as you mentioned, she wants that top spot. She wants to catch Alisa Sill and Lisa Wagner with 30 titles. You know, Tish led this event through 4 rounds. I think she thought it was hers, but she lost the lead yesterday. She'll come out fighting tonight.
She always does. Now, our number 2 qualifier was the 1996 and 1997 Bowler of the Year. Wendy McPherson, however, has been relatively quiet in 1998. She hasn't won a title yet.
She's been trying to recapture her success from the last 2 years. She's tried all kinds of different things. I think she's finally found the right combination. She's made 3 of our last 4 telecasts.
And our number 1 qualifier closes the bookends. It's Carolyn Doran Ballard. She's number 1. She's been on TV 5 times already in 1998, and she's looking for her 2nd title of 1998.
And for most players, that'd be a great year, but we talked about it last week. For Carolyn Doran Ballard, it's a subpar year. She's made some physical changes, came out with a new attitude, and here she is, number 1 in her 2nd straight telecast. That just goes to show you, no matter how good you are, you have to work, make changes in order to stay competitive.
But before she can be competitive, she's got to be a spectator. She's going to be watching her younger sister, Kathy, as she takes on Jackie Miscavige in our opening match. It's time to bowl. The championship round finals of the Track Triton TKO Open are brought to you by Budweiser and Bud Light, the official beers of bowling. By MasterCard, there are some things in life money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. And by AMF Bowling Worldwide, the largest owners and operators of bowling centers in the world and one of the leading makers of bowling products. AMF always means fun. We are back at the interstate lanes, and you are looking at Jackie Mickiewicz. She is bowling against Kathy Dorn. You can see the score on the page. She's down by 14 in the fifth.
That's a better shot.
Boy, did it take a turn right after you said that.
Yeah, a lot of hooks. She got that one out on the lane, projected it, a little more ball speed, and it's still hooked. Now, yesterday she told us she went to more even, tamer ball. I don't know if she's with a more aggressive ball here, see how it snaps at the back end, or if it's just that there's not enough carry down on the lane yet. The lanes did change quickly, as I said, and she may be just waiting out the carry down, making subtle moves.
Now, she said something interesting as she converts that spare. Last night when we were talking to her, oh, wait, there's her family. It's identify Violet and Jack Sellers. Violet on the left in the second row, Jack on the right.
Yeah, and there's her grandmother, Ruth Sellers.
On the other
right.
side. So it's a family affair. Ruth, again, this is the second row you're looking at behind the first. Violet, Jack, and Ruth Sellers. Obviously, Sellers being Jackie Mickiewicz's maiden name. Her husband is Tom. Anyway, last night she said she likes tough conditions, and this week she said they were tough conditions, and that makes her happy. Why would anybody like tough conditions?
I'll get to that in just a moment. Let's look at this shot. Still smiling. She's making moves, and they're not working. So right now she's a little bit puzzled. Back to the tough condition issue. Jackie's a player who stays well within her game. She doesn't try to do more than she thinks she can do. She likes tough conditions because she feels she can be fairly accurate. She can pick up her spares. She doesn't try to overhook the lane when the conditions call for it. And also, I think personally that her mental outlook, her attitude, she's very calm. You never know if she's striking or missing a spare. You never know. And that's a key on a tough condition, not to get frustrated and stay calm.
Well, both of our bowlers have marked in every frame, but Kathy Dorn's story is a little bit different. She has 3 strikes and a spare, summing up her first 4 frames. She's working on a 2-bagger, going for the turkey in 5. She said she made some moves when we spoke with her last night.
Well, she moved actually from the 8th position all the way up to 5th to make the show. And here's a look at where they stood going into position round with 1 game left.
Oh, this was so critical, too, because she was in 8th position, and she thought, her competition was going to be Debbie McMullen or Anne-Marie Dugan. It turned out she leapfrogged over everybody, bumped out Yvette Smith, and as you can see, she's on television today. But I'm happy to say Anne-Marie Dugan sitting next to me keeping score. God bless her.
And Debbie McMullen and Yvette Smith, great week. Good tournament.
That's 3 for Kathy Dorn as Jackie Mickiewicz still is trying to figure things out. I would like to mention for Jackie Mickiewicz, as we look at Kathy Dorn, that she bowled with Linda Kelly, Mandy Wilson, Ginger Vogelsang, and Angie Kreitzer in that World Team Challenge Grand Slam when they defeated Japan and Team USA in the final.
Ooh, that was a good shot, though. Finally in the pocket. Of course, you leave a 10 pin when you finally get to the pocket, but that's good. That'll help her.
You saw the smile, too.
Yeah, she found the pocket, and that's great. She got that way farther right, coming in hard. I think she was afraid to trust it that far right because we did have a lot of conditioner toward the outer part of the lane, but that came ripping back.
Once again, no problem with the conversion. We had spoken earlier about her changing that first step. We asked her about what she's doing to change her timing.
Well, I continually struggle with my timing, so last week I bowled pretty bad as far as my timing went. So on the couple days off, I went home and just by chance switched my feet around as if I'm a 5-step player, as if I were a 4-step player. It distributed my weight a little better and seemed to help get me started the right way, and then it was fine.
She is still looking for the solution on lane 33, 33 and 34 being our television pair.
Okay, there she talked about that timing. We talked about how she changed her footwork, but she does not appear to be doing that tonight. And again, I don't know if she doesn't realize how big her first step is right now.
We're in Rossford, Ohio, and Jackie Miscavige converts another spare. Some things never change. Our coverage of the Track Triton TKO Open will continue in just a moment. We are back, and these people are applauding because Kathy Dorn has a four-bagger as she heads into the seventh. She is up by 43 pins over Jackie Miscavige in our opening match here at the Triton Track TKO Open. Make it 5.
Wow, she looks great. I mean, she's making really good shots right now. It's kind of funny because this was a show that Kathy really didn't expect to make. You know, there's so many times when she's been up there and fallen out towards the end. This week, she really wasn't in. She was in third after the first round, I think, but not in it. And all of a sudden, here she is. And that's what happens in a low-scoring environment. Positions change quickly.
It's funny, she shot spares all week, was working on the spares. She's only needed one spare tonight. I don't want to say she wasted her time, but...
Well, the night's not over, and without that work, she probably wouldn't be here.
Kathy Dorn just trying to stay focused on her game as Jackie Miscavige tries to figure things out, down by 63 points. A very, very light touch. Looks like it went into the pocket, but just didn't have enough oomph.
Well, Jackie just does not have a good shot right now. That ball is a little too drastic. She's getting a lot of over-under. See it from down low. See how it came in very light. Barely touched the head pin. The 4-pin almost took out the 2, but now she has a tough spare.
Oh, I thought she had that. That was beautifully done. And for the first time, Jackie Miscavige has not converted a spare after 7 in a row. Still looking for her first strike. Doesn't get much closer than this.
Great shot at it. Touching the 2-pin. Look at it slide over. Right in front of the 10. Now, normally it would kick back out and hit it, but not to be. And Jackie just not getting a lot of breaks right here. She's on lane 33. And strikes just aren't meant to be for this woman tonight. No, but she made the show. That's right. She's doing well. Jackie always struggling with the issue of should I be out here, should I be home? She wants to be home with her husband, but she loves bowling. You know, last year she made the television show 3 times. This year, with a handful of events remaining, she's already been on TV 3 times. Last year she made $42,000. This year she's at $33,000. So she should do a little better than she did last year. And certainly should be very pleased with her performance this week here in Rossford, Ohio. She finishes 5th with $2,800 added to her career earnings. And if Kathy continues to take this off the sheet, she could shoot 280. Ouch. Coming up a little high. So Kathy Doran climbs the ladder. Her next opponent will be Tish Johnson. Kathy Doran and Tish Johnson, our next match as the Triton Track TKO Open continues. The final score was 237 to 172 as Kathy Doran ousted Jackie Mickiewicz in our opening match. She climbs the ladder and now faces Tish Johnson. Tish Johnson is a number 3 seed, has opted to sit down, and she said, Kathy, you're bowling first. She wants Kathy to have the pressure on her if she has to win the match. Kathy looks tough, though, tonight. She was tough in her last TV appearance. She's been getting better and better, more comfortable on television with every appearance. You saw the high-low story, and this is not how she wants to open against Tish Johnson. You never want to leave a crack, an opportunity for someone like Tish to take advantage. She must convert here. A little left to target, probably a little slow after the break. Leaving a Greek church. She's going to go for the 3 pins. Oftentimes you'll get lucky and shoot a pin across and get 4 of the pins, which is great for pin count. Very rarely picked up. Gave it a good effort. A conversion was not in the cards. Tish Johnson steps up for the first time. She's 5'9", 36 years old, hails from Northridge, California. Although I don't know for how long. She's trying to sell her home in Northridge. This is her 84th career appearance. She's the only lefty in our stepladder finals. Playing an extreme outside line. Pretty straight up the boards, but that one breaking too hard. She'll probably experience the same type of things, getting a little bit of carry down. Just worked on a few things with her approach, pushing up and out in her push away, and also in looking farther down the lane. She was trying to push up a little bit, but dropping that real early. 4-step approach, had high backswing right here. Getting it a little bit higher all the time, creating some speed. Look at that follow through to the left. Really pushes off with that index finger. And on her second shot on lane 33, she bowled a strike. As Kathy Doran gets ready, we'll take a look at that strike. Straight up about the 5th board. A little bit left of that. Dead flush. Kathy Doran had the open frame in the beginning. The Greek church didn't rattle her one bit. She steps up in the second frame and clears the deck. Well, I can tell you had mentioned how she practiced on the tighter lanes, out at Star Lanes in Sandusky. She's worked on squaring up. Kathy's tendencies were to miss right before in the front part of the lane. She worked hard at being able to play up the lane because she feels her carry's much better. She can get right and play a good angle into the pocket. And she's had a lot of success this week at that. Really playing direct, and that is going to help her on a lot of conditions. Two in a row. Kathy Doran settles in after the open frame. And Tish Johnson, our number 3 qualifier, is up on lane 34. Spare and a strike. And it's 2 in a row for Tish Johnson as these two ladies match each other shot for shot. Let's take a look at some other finishers. Yvette Smith, 203 average for her, but she finishes 9th because her match play record was 12-12. In 10th, Carol Giannotti Block. She's continuing to dominate. It's her 13th top 10 finish out of 18 events.
Here's Tish now with a 12-pin lead.
That one was left off her hand. I wasn't even sure if it would get back far enough to get to the head pin. She knew it. Watch her send this one left. All the way out, about the third, second board, still sliding. She caught some conditioner down the lane. Covers her fair nicely. She hooked the ball across at the fair, and a lot of players chose to do that this week.
Strike. 2 strikes sandwiched by 2 spares for the first 4 frames for Tish Johnson as Kathy Doran has 2 in a row. And it's a turkey for Kathy Doran. Now the PWBA travels to Pittsburgh for the Storm 3 Rivers Open on Saturday, October 3rd through the 8th. Pro-Ams begin Saturday, October 3rd. And for more information, call 412-882-5557. And after our letter to Ask the Pro, you can see how much fun those Pro-Ams are. And you learn a lot.
You do, and we all have a great time, and we're willing to help people out if they want some advice and some tips. We like to meet people early on in the week. Maybe they'll come back and root for us throughout the week.
Well, it's not a maybe. They do, Jan. Oh, I don't believe this. What? Oh, I'd rather be lucky than good, huh?
Oh.
Whoa.
Well,
whoa.
I think she's both good and lucky. She said flip immediately when she threw this ball. Knew she didn't catch it. Look at it slide. Now, this barely touched the head pin off the wall, and look at this.
Wow. This is Tish Johnson's shot on 34. Now, after that pinfall, Kathy Doran really let the wind out of her sails. Watch this. She says yes, but oh boy, she went with a sigh of relief. And it's 2 spares in a row for Tish Johnson in the 5th and 6th. Crossing over to 33.
Well, I think she knows that Kathy's lined up and things maybe are going to go Kathy's way. Tish needs to start striking now.
You saw her TV pair average 221 plus. She went from being 12 pins up to being 12 pins down, but she's not giving up. We will continue with Kathy Doran versus Tish Johnson here at the Triton Track TKO Open in Rossford, Ohio. It's 4 in a row for Kathy Doran. She now leads by 12 in the 6th frame. This is our second match here at Interstate Lanes.
She needs it in there, kind of a soft 10-pin, 6-pin laid in the channel. Last time she shot, we had gone away at the end of the match. She left a 6-pin on this lane or a 10-pin, and she slipped on the corner going to shoot the spare and missed it. So she's going to have to be cautious of her footwork here on the corner of the approach.
That explains why she finished with a 230-something instead of a 260 or 70-something, because she had that open frame.
Exactly, and as you move across approaches, you get a little different feel in different places that you slide, and if you're not ready for it, sometimes it catches you by surprise. You talked about Kathy working on her spares, and I don't know if everyone realizes it, but in match play, we get an hour of warm-up on the pairs we're not using ahead of time. And Kathy came over and said, normally we reset the spares, and Kathy said, I will shoot everyone's spares. And she practiced spares for nearly an hour.
She's back on track on lane 33 as Tish Johnson steps up.
After missing last shot on this lane, she comes in really high flush on this.
Tish has a strike and leaves herself some trouble.
Oh boy. Jumping high, 4, 6, 7, 10 are virtually impossible. You'll never see it made. As soon as I say never, it's going to happen, but I'm glad you said that.
22 career titles, leads in virtually every category statistically, are among the leaders. What's left in her career? She told us.
Well, I have 22 titles, so I like to hit 31 if possible, and hopefully that will stand. I also like to be leading money winner for all time. That's what I always like to do, be the best at what I do.
She is competitive, and she is that.
Coming up high now again, leaving the 2-4.
That's the second time she's left the 2-4. She did that in the opening frame.
Career earnings, $859,000, about $100,000 off the pace of Alita Sill, who's trying to reach that $1 million mark this year.
She's about one win away from doing that. Had she won here, she would have set the $1 million mark. Picks up the spare in the 8th frame. It is now the 8th frame for Kathy Doran, who had a strike in the 7th. To get in, and it does.
It does, and she has great pin carry today. She's mixing the light. She's tripping 4s on the high hits. She has some really good pin carry, and that's what it takes. She's playing the right angle, and that's exactly what she talked about. If she could square up, her carry would be better.
Maximum score would be 257. In the opening match, she had 4 strikes on lane 33, and she had 4 strikes on lane 34, so she's playing the pair perfectly. Another 3-bagger for Kathy Doran.
I'm just amazed at how the pins are falling. I mean, she has a wide pocket, and, you know, that means she can almost hit anywhere in the pocket to carry.
212 if she punches out, and that's not going to happen. And it's interesting how Kathy Doran has dialed in these lanes. Jackie Mickiewicz and Tish Johnson are still searching for the right place.
Well, that's how lane conditions change, and that's how they were this week. Tough. You might find a pair you could score on, but others you couldn't.
Oh.
And like I said, Tish dominated this event for 2 days, 4 rounds. Came in yesterday. Conditions were different for her, as they were for everyone. And she really struggled yesterday, but hung on to make the show in 3rd position. And she appears to have the same tough conditions she had yesterday.
You know, Jackie Mickiewicz bowled a strike in the 10th frame. It was her first strike in the opening round. She just spared every frame prior to that. Had 1 open frame, but then finally got a strike in the 10th. Now, Tish Johnson did have a couple of strikes, 2nd and 3rd, had another strike in the 6th, and now has one here in the 10th. Take that, too. What was that song? Too Much, Too Little, Too Late.
Yeah, that was it, and that is it.
She will finish fourth with $3,200.
Well, these are the scores I was expecting to see from everyone. Kathy is really surprising in how she's found a good shot on the lanes, really, and she's making really good shots.
So Tish Johnson will retire. Kathy Doran moves up the ladder. But first, when we come back, we're going to have a visit with the Clydesdale horses. We are back in Rockford, Ohio, and this is it. Wendy McPherson against Carolyn Doran. It is actually McPherson-Papanos against Doran Ballard, two married ladies going toe-to-toe in the championship match here at the Track Triton TKO Open. Carolyn Doran Ballard, number 1 seed, opts to go first.
She obviously likes lane 34. She'll finish there.
Good a lot. Kick. Great way to start things off in the championship match. Waiting in the wings, watching her sister. And now it's her chance to step up to the plate. Wendy McPherson, meanwhile, opened with a 248 against Kathy Doran, defeating her 248 to 212. And now she'd like to oust her sister Carolyn.
Well, Wendy told us that on some pairs she played to strike, and some pairs she played for 9. There's obviously a pair she's going to play to strike on.
I think we've got ourselves a bowling match here. Let's take a look at the career earnings leaders. Alita Sill sitting on top, very close to the $1 million mark. Two of our bowlers this evening, Tish Johnson and Wendy McPherson, among the top 5. And sitting next to me is Anne-Marie Dugan. And in our truck doing stats is the number 3 person, Lisa Wagner. So we're surrounded by some wealthy women.
It's not rubbing off, is it?
You bought my dinner last night. You tell me. You saw that right from the beginning. She's smiling because at least it came back that much.
She missed way right on this one. Happy to have knocked out the 10, so she doesn't have a washout. The ball's not coming back. There's no way out there. Conditioner on the outer portion of the lane. She's going to shoot at this with her spare ball. This is not an easy spare either.
She makes it look easy, though, and Wendy McPherson marks in the second frame, coming off a strike in the opener. Carolyn Doran Ballard, meanwhile, that's her husband, Del Ballard. You know, it's funny, I was talking to him. He's injured. He's injured his thumb, and he's starting to bowl again and rehab it. And he said in the morning, first thing, he has to, like, click it. It makes this crunch sound, and then he's fine for the rest of the day.
Oh, well, thanks. I really
sound good.
Yeah, I really want to think about that.
It's time for me to crunch my thumb and start my day. Forward, here.
A little bit light there, leaving the 7. Average for the week, just over 209. She's going to change balls to shoot at the 7-pin so she can shoot straight across the lane at it. Right at it. Now, Carolyn has a 5-step approach, and she's changed her starting position of her feet. She's even now with her feet. Sometimes we'll slant the right foot back. There's about a shoulder-high backswing right there. Look at the balance. Look at the left arm out to keep good balance. And look at this finish position. Very strong. Good knee bend. Very strong follow-through also. Come on, hook up. Hit it! 7 again, stand stuck. Now that was a good shot. Blew the pins across. Yeah, didn't take out the 7. She's staying pretty closed. That's why she's starting with her feet side by side. When she tries to open more, she brings it back. Look at this. Head pin blown off the wall. 5 pins straight across. That 5 pin should have taken it out, but it didn't.
Her 5th TV appearance has her opening with a strike and 2 spares in the championship match against Wendy McPherson. This match is even. I guess it's -1 at this point, technically. A strike and a spare for McPherson. Let's see what she does here in the 3rd. And she starts a string. I'd like to remind you to be sure to be with us next Friday morning for the championship round finals of the Columbia 300 Delaware Open. Can Wendy McPherson repeat as champion? Join us from Bolorama, Newcastle, Delaware for the action. She might be a back-to-back champion if she pulls it off here.
Well, she regrouped from that bad shot, put the shot right in the pocket. There's 2. 9-pin going down awfully late on that shot. Ball drove hard. Actually drove past the 9-pin, no deflection. Almost past, just kick out the 9-pin there.
Help her cause. If the 7 had fallen, it would have been nice, but it was a 10.
Well, coming up high, and she may go for this. I don't really know. That's a choice she can only make right now. She's going to go for the 1 pin or go for the spare.
That's it.
She's going for the spare, and it makes sense. That was a logical choice because she knows Wendy's lined up. She can give away 1 pin, trying to get 10 back if she picks up the spare. Well, we talked about it being a year of changes for Carolyn. Made some game changes, attitude changes. She wanted to thank Brian Purcell from Ebonite for always being there to pick her up, and David Garber for all of his help. Also Del for his help and for letting her do things on her own and learning to refocus on her own.
And that was interesting. She said she wanted to become more self-reliant. Come on now. Went to the bowling center, worked on her game by herself. Easily could have used a great resource in Del Ballard, but said, no, I've got to figure this out for myself so that when the chips are down, she can rely on herself. So
Del's here now supporting her and talking about Carolyn Dorn-Ballard. It's tough sometimes, though. You have to be able to do it yourself because you don't always have someone with you.
That's right. Don't want a crutch. Seven stays up for her, as it did earlier for Carolyn.
Pretty light. Fortunate, really, to just have a 7-pin. 10-pin went down a little late. But she definitely is lined up to the pocket.
And she converts there. Big bowlers, don't forget to sign up for the Bud Frame and a chance to go to the International Bowling Museum and Hall of Fame. Enter at your local bowling center, and for more information, call the PWBA in area code 815-332-5756.
Wendy up by 24. Halfway through, though. Still a close match.
Very close, but Wendy McPherson would like to widen the gap. 24 pins now, but it's not resolved. We'll wrap things up between Carolyn Doran-Ballard and Wendy McPherson, but first we have these messages from our sponsors. We are back. You are looking at Carolyn Doran-Ballard. She's stepping up in the 6th frame, had a strike in the 5th. This was not her best pair throughout this 40-lane house. Her average on this pair was only 180.
That's true, but a different day. They're reconditioned. The lanes are reconditioned each day. In fact, Tish Johnson had the highest average on this pair, 221, and really had no shot today.
This time it is the 10 that stays up.
She needs to start stringing them together, put a little pressure back on Wendy.
You can see Del Ballard shaking his head. You know, part of her philosophy was not only self-reliance, but also to develop a game plan. We asked her what her game plan was this week.
My game plan this week is going to be my game plan for tonight. I came out, I thought long and hard before I came into the bowling center. I picked 8 balls that I thought would work, changed the surfaces a little bit, stuck with those 8 balls, never walked back into the paddock, and here I am today, and hopefully that'll work tonight. I made it simple, and it worked.
Simple was the key this week. Wanted something with low flare, something that would stay even reaction on the lane.
That looked like a good shot, just didn't carry that 10.
You did, and unfortunately, when you're going with simple, sometimes you don't carry quite as well. The ball looks like a good shot, but hitting half pockets. The other 6 pin just laid down in the channel.
Deficit 12 to 25 for Carolyn Doran-Ballard in her match against Wendy McPherson, who is up now in the 7th frame. And Wendy McPherson hasn't exactly been able to string them together either, so this is far from over, but we are running out of frames for Carolyn Doran-Ballard. For Wendy McPherson, her first title of the year is getting closer. Maximum score 259 as she goes off the page. Step 1.
Wow, that ball is just driving so hard.
Match play, they've met before, 229 to 180, the score.
That's a turkey for Wendy McPherson. Putting them together in the 6th, 7th, and 8th. Carolyn Doran Ballard, meanwhile, steps up in the 8th, looking at a maximum score of 214, coming off a spare in the 7th. Gets the 10 to drop after leaving it there twice.
Well, she needs them all. The best she could do is 214 here. She's asking for a re-rack on lane 33. We're almost in the same situation as it was with Kathy Doran. If Carolyn goes off the sheet, Wendy would really just need a mark in one of the last 2 frames. She had to have it, and she got it.
And Wendy McPherson has not had an open frame yet in this match. She had a spare in the 2nd and a spare in the 5th. Other than that, it's been all strikes.
Well, I think Wendy McPherson is not relying on luck tonight. I think she's going after it and saying, I'm not going to feel sorry for myself and hope I get lucky. I'm going for
it. 7 stays up for her.
And light hits on 34 not going down this game for either player. If she spares here, she will need good pin count.
She steadily is making things easy for herself. She won each tournament in which she qualified 2nd. Interesting. That has happened 4 times. Looks like that string is going to continue, barring a disaster here.
She really needs 9 on her first ball, though, to shut out Carolyn Doran Ballard. Anything less, we could end up with a tie if she didn't spare.
That 7-pin falling was a lot bigger, I think. She's looking at it now and saying, yes, that was a big shot.
That was huge. Watch the 7-pin. Look at the head pin. Off the wall, the head pin danced back and took it out. Look at that. It looked like a pocket 7-10. Would have been a horrible break.
So Wendy McPherson on her way to collecting her first title. Carolyn Doran Ballard.
One break, one time. And I'm sure she's sitting there thinking, you know, when she bowled against Kim Adler back in the summer, she stood up and left that pocket 7-10 to lose that match. And I'm sure she's thinking, you know, why doesn't that happen to me when I'm here?
It's a 227 for Wendy McPherson. Carolyn Doran Ballard has to finish things up here in the 10th frame. Again, her maximum score is a 214.
Well, she said she's being pleased with the little things, making good shots, making good choices. It'll have to tide her over.
So Carolyn Doran Ballard finishes in 2nd place, but our champion this day is Wendy McPherson.
McPherson-Papanos of Henderson, Nevada, claiming her first title of 1998 on the heels of being Bowler of the Year. You are looking at the champion of the Track Triton TKO Open, Wendy McPherson. Congratulations to you. A fine job. And this is a familiar place for our 1996 and 1997 Bowler of the Year.
Well, thank you, Leandra. To be honest with you, I'm a little caught up for words. I was just amazed that I bowled that well this evening. Bowling hasn't been too good for me on TV lately, and I'm just ecstatic, absolutely ecstatic.
Well, you should be, and I think I have something here that will make you really ecstatic. This is Sue Pinsky. She's a general manager, and she has a presentation.
Wendy, on behalf of Interstate Lanes, I'd like to present you with your bouquet, and, of course, $11,000 check.
Oh, wonderful.
Congratulations, and many, many more.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And now it is time for Phil Cardinale. He is the president of Track Incorporated. In addition to a check, you get a trophy.
Well, Wendy, here's our Triton TKO trophy as a little memento for you, as a sort of a remembrance to years from now how you knocked out the competition this week. And Track is very proud to have you join the list of champions. You know, Carol Giannotti won last year, and you continue the line of great champions.
Thank you.
So we're proud to have you as one of the champions of the Track tournament.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm absolutely honored. First off, you know, Sue Penske here at Interstate Lanes has been such a big supporter of our tour and keeps having us come back. All of you who come out and watch us daily, thank you very, very much for that. Also, I'd like to thank Phil Cardinale, absolutely a top-notch guy who supports our tour along with Track, and I think that deserves a round of applause for him and his support of our tour. Thank you.
And now let's bring in our Jan Schmidt. Jan, I know you have a question for Wendy.
I do. Wendy, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think that was the most aggressive and the best that I have ever seen you bowl on television. What was going on in your mind today?
I wasn't scared to lose today. Normally I get out there and I'm scared to death of what might happen. And all of a sudden I had really good ball reaction, and I thought, wow, I'm just going to go with the flow. I didn't have that at all in practice, and I'd like to thank Don Mose for working so hard and making sure I had a great ball, Nighthawk, to throw this evening. And I just all of a sudden got into the groove, and I remembered the old days of when I used to get out there and just bowl and have a good time. So that's what I tried to do.
Well, you said that before, that sometimes you've had to remember how to win or relearn how to win. Now, Rockford was very disappointing for you. How did you regroup from that?
It was one of the lowest points of my career. I was absolutely devastated. It took me a while to get over it. You know, I think now I have even more determination to win. I try to focus on what I did do wrong. I haven't seen the show yet. I'll never watch that show, but I remember it very vividly in my mind, and I knew where I went wrong, and so I really tried to focus not to do that again.
So Wendy McPherson, congratulations. She eliminated Kathy Dorn and then Carolyn Doran Ballard. Needless to say, they're not thinking kindly of you this evening, but everyone in bowling certainly admires your performance here tonight. Congratulations to you. For Jan Schmidt, I'm Leandra Riley. Once again, congratulating Wendy McPherson, our winner at the Interstate Lanes in Rockford, Ohio. Now, be sure to be with us next Friday morning at 12:30 a.m. for the championship round finals of the Columbia 300 Delaware Open. And this has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Congratulations, Wendy McPherson.
Thank you very, very much.
Reaching your financial goals can feel impossible. But we can help you seize them. Credit Karma gives you personalized guidance to improve your credit, savings, taxes, and more, so you can find your way to money. Intuit Credit Karma, proud partner of Team USA. If you feel held back by the weight of navigating financial decisions, we can give you the tools to help you break free from what's slowing you down. Credit Karma gives you personalized guidance to improve your credit, savings, taxes, and more, so you can find your way to money. Intuit Credit Karma, proud partner of Team USA.
When shopping for personal loans, bait and switch rates can be deceiving. You can count on Credit Karma to help you find more accurate rates, because Credit Karma uses your credit profile to show you real offers with clear terms without hurting your credit scores. No smoke, no mirrors, just personalized rates. Download Intuit Credit Karma to get started.
Are you looking to build a bowling arsenal with only 3 bowling balls? Well, using the 6-ball arsenal scale that I mentioned in previous videos, we're going to go through and see what 3 bowling balls you would need if you don't want to bring 6 everywhere. You just want to bring half of that. All right, usually we'll have 6 different categories of bowling balls. We'll have strong smooth, strong sharp, medium sharp, weak smooth, and weak sharp. But if you had to cut out half of these, what would be the best 3 to have? So if you have a 3-ball arsenal, you're probably bowling league. If you're going to a tournament, I'd recommend bringing more than 3. But if you need to just build an arsenal, even for a tournament or for league in general, the 3 categories I would recommend are strong sharp, medium smooth, and weak sharp. Those are going to be the 3 balls that cover the most categories. When we're talking about a strong sharp bowling ball, we're looking at asymmetrical pearls or asymmetrical hybrids. Balls like this include the Track Theorem, the Brunswick Intense Mindset, the Rotogrip Attention Star, the Storm Virtual Energy Blackout, the Crimson Jackal. Balls like that are going to fit that strong sharp category very well. They're going to be a good early ball for a house shot. All right, the second category you need is going to be the medium smooth category. This is going to be what we call your benchmark bowling ball. This is what you can pull out first to know if you need to go to your strong sharp ball or your weak sharp ball. So balls that fit in this category are the Storm Phase 2, the Motive Venom Shock, the Ebonite Game Breaker 5, the Track Cypher, and the list goes on and on. Usually symmetrical solid or symmetrical hybrid options fit in this category really well. And the third category is going to be the weak and sharp category. So balls that fit in this category will be lower end pearl balls. So you're looking at the Vibes, the Hustles, you're looking at an IQ Tour Ruby, you're looking at things like the Max Thrill Pearl, balls that are going to get really far down lane and be super sharp on the back end. This is going to be what you go to if your lanes are completely torched or your medium smooth ball is hooking just way too early. This is going to be your last option. This ball should be able to cover any kind of dry on a lane. So you don't want to go too strong in this one, like a Hyper Venom. I'd go a little bit weaker. All right, hope this helps you build a 3-ball arsenal. From here, you can add in balls to every single spot that you're missing if you're trying to build out your arsenal a little bit further. Let me know down below what you have for a 3-ball arsenal or what size of arsenal you throw when you're bowling league or tournaments. I will try to cover any size arsenal on the next videos. Bowling term of the day is board adjustment. So you'll sometimes hear people in bowling say, make a 2-in-1 move, make a 4-in-2 move. What does that mean? So when they mention something like that, they mean move 2 boards with your feet and 1 board with your eyes. Because generally the way you talk about bowling, where you stand and where you throw, you talk about where you start on the lane, the exact board that you start on the lane. We talked about that in a previous terminology video, but then also what you're looking at down lane. So if you're standing on the 10 board and looking at the 5 board, if someone says make a 2-in-1, that means they want you to move to the 12 board with your feet and the 6th board with your eyes. So when you do this, you can do a 2-1, 4-2, 6-3, and so on. A 2-1 move is the most normal because if you move your feet 2 boards and you move your eyes 1 board, you will keep the same break point down the lane, so your ball shape will be very similar. You'll just be playing a little bit deeper on the lane. Bowling terminology of the day will be the 11 major bowling ball brands. There are currently 11 brands in the United States right now that everyone buys bowling balls from. These brands are split into 3 different companies. So each company has their bowling balls poured in the same location, and the balls are going to be very similar compared to the other companies. Company number 1 is Storm Products International, otherwise known as SPI. Same location in Mexico that are all under Brunswick Bowling. And those brands are Brunswick, Deviate, Radical. Then you have Ebonite, Hammer, Columbia 300, and Track Bowling. Those are all poured in the same location. Finally, the final company is just one brand, that is Motive Bowling. They are poured in Michigan, and they are just their own guys. So if you hear anybody talk about Brunswick bowling balls, Hammer bowling balls, anything like that, they are all basically the same on each company. They just have different logos on them. Same with Storm, and then Motive is, of course, just Motive over in their own corner.
A pleasant good day, everyone. I'm Dave Armstrong, along with the Team USA national coach, Fred Borden. And Fred, the weeding out process has done it again. Another great team for you for 1992. It all started with 13,000. How do we get down to the Final Four today?
Well, Dave, they start at the local level and then advance to the state level. From the state, then on to the region. From the region, here to the national finals. We started with 49 players. They bowled 24 games qualifying. We cut the field to the top 24. They pulled 24 games of match play, and now we're down to the TV show, the Final Four.
And the top seed going into today is John East, a veteran out of Minnesota.
Yes, this man has ice water in his veins. He's the kind of a guy that you'd have to wake up after the first 11 and say, hey, John, it's time to throw the 12th shot.
And the youngster, Vince Biondo, is back for a return visit.
The little guy with a big, powerful hook ball, he's thrown a million strikes this week.
And Mike Terrell out of the United States Air Force is on the team this year.
A very gritty player. You know, I noticed all week long in the 9th and 10th frame, he struck out numerous times to win.
And from the University of Nebraska, Paul Fleming.
The baby-faced player. A lot of knowledge, though. I noticed a thing about this young man. Last night, he made a major change with his equipment with 2 games left to go to make the team.
It's Terrell and Fleming in the opening match, and Kim Terrell, a ladies professional winner 2 times on the ladies tour, is with us today. She had a chance to visit with both bowlers before today's competition.
Well, both players seem to be a little nervous at this point. I think they're just anxious to get started. Mike's never been on television before, and Paul, being a national collegiate team champion for the University of Nebraska, has been on twice, so I think he may have a little bit of an advantage. I think it seems that neither one of them are really worried about being national amateur champ. They just want to make good shots and go from there. Dave?
Well, it's different bowling under the lights, as you know, Kim, and we'll find out what happens. We'll have the opening match coming up next. A national amateur champion will be crowned today, and the journey begins with Mike Terrell and Paul Fleming. Up first will be Mike Terrell out of the United States Air Force, an electronic instructor. He bowling out of Ocean Springs, Mississippi.
Power player. Dave, this guy really gets the ball out over the foul line. Short backswing, lofts the ball out over the foul line. Hits up through the ball. Puts a lot on it. Just a little light. First shot, pretty good shot though for first shot jitters, I think.
Yeah, not too bad at all, and an easy spare for him in this first frame.
If you notice now he's changing balls. He's going to a ball here with a little smoother finish that'll slide and a little more accuracy, a little straighter on the spare shot.
The 2-pin remains, but not anymore. An opening spare for Mike Terrell. And up steps Paul Fleming out of the University of Nebraska in Lincoln.
Complete different style than Mike. Here's a stroke type player, a fluid swing player, a little higher backswing, coordinated type motion.
He opens a little high.
Just laid it a little short, I think. He didn't get through the ball very good on that shot. And it's, you got a break. He broke the split up.
Leaves the 6-10. This has got to be a difficult transition for them, Fred, to be bowling all week without the TV lights and the cameras, and then now here they are today under all this pressure.
Well, you know what? Here's a guy that's 22 years old, and they look nervous to me. There's a real good style. If we'll watch this ball move out with that right foot. Now here goes the left. He's a 5-step player, moves out with that right foot, over top the calf, up head high, posts it up at the foul line. A real pure stylist, swings it through, lets it roll. This kid's a very bright young star in our sport.
Fleming working on a spare in the second.
Just doesn't get any purer than that. That's as pure as this kid did all week long. He hit the pocket. It's just a matter if he carries. I look for him to get locked into the pocket, the dead pocket with nearly every shot.
Terrell will try to answer. He also working on a spare here in the second. And he does answer.
Look at that pin come across there, Dave. You see, that's what he did all week. He's got that power. He's got that real strong upper body. And you can see he's got Popeye forearms. He can really wrist it at the foul line and come through and hit it and loft it out, delay it, and then make it snap at the pins.
Terrell, the number 3 seed entering today's competition, averaged 218.75 for the week. Scores were high this week.
It was great surface out here with this synthetic lane surface. Nice smooth lanes.
And a double.
It was a pretty good motion there right out of the box in just a couple of frames. And that took the lead. Now Terrell's got a 10-pin lead over Paul. Let's see now if he can answer the challenge here. He needs to come right back to put the heat right back on him.
Good adjustment. He was high the first time on that lane and came back and nailed a strike. He also with a double, and we're dead even.
Can you believe he threw that shot that pure and that clean, that young age? Wow. It's just fun to know that we've got these players for our Team USA for 92.
I should say, a fine team again for 92. Leaves the 10.
If you notice, Dave, he lofted that ball a little bit more. He got through it real strong. He lofted it out, and it delayed the action at the pins. The ball didn't turn over quite as early. It went a little longer, and therefore we leave the weak 10. A lot of times you leave that weak 10 because you hang on with your thumb a little bit. You don't clear the thumb at the bottom. Get that thumb out, and you'll carry that 10 better.
Fleming easily converts the spare. Fleming and Terrell are off and rolling here in the opening match of the 1991 Team USA National Finals. Welcome back to Peachtree Lanes in Atlanta. Mike Terrell now bowling in the 8th, working on a strike, but trailing by 22.
Grabbed onto that one. You know, he knew he needed it. Probably the nerves set in there a little bit. That's a key shot of the match, I think, right there. But the match is never over till it's over. He's up by 23 now, and Mike needs to make this spare.
Mike missed an easy 8th pin for a spare in the 6th frame. It really cost him dearly.
Well, maybe it unnerved him a little also, Dave. I think at that point you could see the next shot, he threw it out. It did get back. He carried a light strike, and then he came back and he pulled that shot. So I think it unnerved him a little.
You see what Fleming has done since the 5th frame.
Paul's just hit the puck with every shot after the very first frame.
And he leaves the 10.
He made the proper adjustment, though. He knew he grabbed the last shot. That one he got off his hand clean. When you get it off and let it go a little too quick, you leave the 10 pin.
So in the foundation frame, the 9th, desperately needing this spare to stay in the match. Now Fleming working on 4 in a row.
He throws a strike here. This is the lockout strike right here. If he can get up there and throw this shot, he'll advance to the next match. Well, that's pretty good presence as a young man to know that he's got to reset himself, get back in position here, take your time. Your first time on national TV. I'm impressed. Feeling the jitters just a little bit. Pulled that ball through from the top of the swing. You never let it swing to the bottom. You've got to wait on the ball and let it swing to the bottom and then drop the thumb out and put the fingers to the ball. He grabbed on from the top of the swing. The ball never did project to the right.
So the 3, 6, 9, 10 remain.
Very difficult spare.
Whoa, he did it wonderfully.
Hit perfect. And if you notice, he arced that ball out far to the right and snapped the fingers a little bit harder to make sure that it hooked back and carried that sleeper.
And that may be the key shot of the match.
Watch this shot. He really snapped the fingers there. Did you see that arm snap? So now the ball arcs out farther to the right, out by the 6-pin. Now here it comes. It's making its turn back to carry that sleeper. That sleeper is the key there. So you have to hook the ball more on that spare to carry that sleeper pin.
Going in the 10th, open for the strike. A 245 possible for Fleming.
That strike right there just locked out the match. You needed to mark. Went right up there. You just don't throw it much better than that. This young man is just a classic stylist.
Reads the 1-2, but didn't need any more than that.
A little bit of probably a letdown. He knows mathematically he can't lose the match, so he just went up there and sort of, whew, I got this first one under my belt.
Fleming will move on to meet Vince Biondo, a team member of the 1991 Team USA.
Well, we're going to be seeing a hook ball here that's about as exciting as you can watch play.
Terrell finishing out in the 10th, working on a spare.
I've had a lot of titles over the years. Filmmaker, hat dad, garbage picker-upper, but business owner wasn't one that I saw coming. Luckily, my wife worked at LegalZoom, so when we decided to open a non-alcoholic bottle shop, she knew exactly where to start. We answered a few questions, they took care of the paperwork, and a few clicks later, we were official. If you're ready to go official too, start your LLC with LegalZoom today.
When your money is spread across multiple accounts, it's hard to see your full financial picture. You can count on Credit Karma to bring it all together. Because when you connect your accounts, you'll reveal new ways to save more, improve spending habits, and pay down debt with extra funds. The more you connect, the more we show you how to grow your money. Download Intuit Credit Karma to get started.
And now the best he can hope for is a 205, and Fleming closed with a 235 in the opening match.
Both very respectable games. First time on national TV. Commend both these young men. They did a nice job.
Earlier this summer in Los Angeles, some of the today's players competed in the Olympic Festival. And let's take a quick look at how this event transpired. Paul Fleming, a winner of match 1, helped by a 4-bagger in frames 5 through 8, defeats Mike Terrell 235 to 214. Now he'll meet Vince Biondo, the number 2 seed. Biondo bowling for the first time on this pair today. Kim Terrell, how does he feel going into this match?
Well, after talking to Vince a little bit during the practice, he wasn't real comfortable, but it seems that he's figured him out a little better, and I think he's ready.
Fred, we watched him in practice experimenting a little bit with 2 different balls.
Yes, he's used a gray ball, and now he's changed back to the red ball. I think he's chosen to go ahead and throw the big hook. There it is. Started the match. You can see that power.
A nice start for Vince Biondo.
You know, it's fun with Vince, too. It's so fun to work with this young man. He was awarded the 1989 Outstanding Student of America Award. He's a very bright young man. He's fun to be around. You talk to him in 20 seconds, he gets a picture and goes, puts it right out to use in his game.
Fleming up in the first. Oh, he is still hot. Fleming, who opened with a 235, starts with a strike here in match number 2.
And, you know, Paul came out of the YABA program, the Young American Bowling Alliance. And see this young man get locked right in there and shoot 235, get up in his first shot. You don't throw it any purer than that. He reminds me of a lot of last year's player, Steve Klompkin, the same kind of style.
He leaves the 10-pin. One of the things that I've noticed in talking to all the competitors is that they all have one common denominator. They all say, yeah, we'd like to be national amateur champion, but I'm just so thrilled to be on Team USA, and we're all teammates here. So even though it's a competition, it's a very friendly one. You see the players slapping hands after each shot.
Yes, the spirit of Team USA, United States 10-Pin Bowling Federation. You know, you catch it when you go to the Olympic Training Center, and you go out and you jump in that big white bus that says United States Olympic Training Center on the side, and there's a spirit that you just can't explain. I'm awed by it all. I'm just happy to be a part of this program. Every day I pinch myself, and being with these young kids, you know, keeps us a little younger.
Yeah, or makes you older.
Yes.
Biondo working on a strike, and he, like Fleming, leaves the 10 in the second.
Now, that was a key all week. Vince carried that 10-pin pretty much all week, better than most all the other players. He and the leader, John East, carried the 10-pin, and that was the key to making the team first, and being the leader was carrying that corner pin.
You were saying yesterday that the key really to bowling is to be able to carry those 7s and 10s, and that the adjustments that you have to make are so fine in trying to be able to do that.
Yes, and that's all we work on here. Watch this wrist action. Watch the wrist of this young man. He's only 125, 30 pounds. Watch that wrist. Look at the cup wrist at top of the swing. That is as powerful as you can put it. Comes down to the bottom. Look at the elbow and the wrist snap through the ball. He arcs this ball out to about the 5 board and brings it back to the 17 board. That's a 12 board finish.
Working on a spare in the third. And again a 10-pin.
That 10-pin, you know, we have a little saying. It's when round things hit against round things, round objects hitting round objects. If we could ever figure out how to carry that 10-pin. And a lot of times it's just what we try to get people to do is just relax your hand a little more. If you're leaving a lot of 10-pins, get that hand nice and loose. They say that they could walk right up to Willie Mays and pull the bat right out of his hands. He was so relaxed. That first shot. See how wide it is? It's out there at the 4 or 5 board. Now it's coming in the back door. We call this swinging in the back door. All week that shot carried that 6 just wrapped up around the neck of the 10-pin. If it had got sideways there, it would have snapped the 10 out. That'll be the key. Let's see if he can get off his hand a little cleaner.
Fleming now up in the third, working on a spare, and gee, that's a strike, spare, strike start here in match number 2.
What a clean release that was. No snaps, no jerks, no pulls, no flips. Get through that release clean as you can. Or a friend of mine had coined the thing years ago and bowled very good, Palmer Fahlgren. He said, let it go. Just kept telling himself, let it go.
That one a little high, leaves the 6-10. Mentally for a Biondo coming in with those 2 10-pins in frames 2 and 3. Mentally, how does he recover? You know, physically, you've talked about physically what he has to do, but mentally, how does he recover from those 2 frames?
He's working on his sports psychology psych right now. You know, the mindset. He's talking himself into a great performance. This young man handles the stress very well. I noticed that at the Olympic Festival. Got in a little bit of trouble. Shot 130 game. Now that, boy, he bounced right back with 240 next game. So he's very good in his mental approach to our sport.
Biondo now up in the fourth, working on a spare. Trailing by 1.
Fred.
Get a little lucky there.
He laid that one down, though. See, he made the right change. He let it off his hand a little quicker, which made it hook a little harder, made it snap through, but it had that big, heavy roll on it, which stirred those pins up. Now, there's a little bit of luck there. But I'll tell you, that was a great shot. That was a proper adjustment. In the heat of the battle, that's great.
Yeah, you deserve a little luck after leaving 2 10 pins.
That's for sure. You throw them pure in the pocket and leave them, and then you trip the 4s, and that's part of our game. That's the mental game again.
That one high, and no fortunate outcome that time for Vince Biondo.
I don't know that Vince really ever got comfortable in practice, Dave. I think he was a little confused in practice. He hit up on that ball real hard, trying to keep it on line. He was a little concerned, probably that 10, and he hit up on the ball, which made it hook early.
This is what bowlers refer to as the Greek church.
Grandpa's teeth.
Vince Biondo with an open in the 5th. Paul Fleming still on a roll as he was in match number 1. Fleming and Biondo, the conclusion of the match, coming up next from Peachtree Lanes in Atlanta. Back at Peachtree Lanes, the semifinal match. Vince Biondo up, working on a strike in the 8th. Trailing by 23. That'll catch up in a hurry.
Isn't that something? This young man's been lost, and here it is. This is a do-or-die strike. He goes right up there and throws as pure a shot as you can throw to keep himself in a match and cut it right down to 13 pins.
I was asking Vince before the match, does he watch the other bowler during these competitions, this head-to-head? And he said you try not to, but it's impossible.
Teach our players sort of get into their own thought process and just worry about what they're doing.
And 3 in a row for Biondo to pull to within 3.
We have us a match here, ladies and gentlemen. This young man now needs to put the heat right back on Vince. Vince just loosened up, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if you don't take 3 out in the 10th. So.
Fleming now up in the 9th, working on a strike. was perfect.
Isn't it fun to watch these young people able to handle this stress, throw shots, trying to become the national amateur champion of the United States and step up there and know that you have to throw it that clean at 22 years old. That's what YABA has done for these young players across the nation.
Now, Fred, I know that you're respected as the greatest teacher in the game of bowling, but I think with this talent, I might be able to teach these guys
I hear you.
and coach them.
Sit back and watch them strike.
3 in a row now for Fleming. That one comes, the opening ball in the 10th frame. Leading now by 23. Biondo looking on, checking the score to see what he'll have to do in his 10th frame.
He needs the count here to win. There's the big count, 9-pin count. He's going to advance and play for the National Amateur Championship.
He's got 8. He needs 1 more.
That just opened the door. Open the door for Vince Biondo to advance.
If he converts here, he'll win by 1, no matter what Biondo does.
Correct.
And he does. So a 226 for Fleming. The best that Biondo can do is a 225. Well, that's terrific bowling by Fleming, isn't it? To open with a 235 and then come back with a 226.
I think he's missed a pocket 3 times in 2 games. That's tremendous for his first appearance on national TV.
Biondo crosses over on the Brooklyn side. He's strung together 4 in a row here at the tail end of the game.
He just sort of walked up and let that one roll. He knows the match is over and got the big hook. As soon as you let up on your speed a little bit, that ball snapped much harder. And speed controls the big thing for Vince's game.
Two in a row for Biondo. He can close with a 225, but that will be a single pin shy of Paul Fleming, who moves up from the number 4 seed all the way to the championship match, where he will meet John East. A 225 for Biondo. Fleming wins by 1. Paul Fleming, 226. Vince Biondo, 225. Fleming will move on to meet the veteran, John East, a 38-year-old bowling proprietor out of Minnesota. Once again, Fleming wins by 1. More bowling from Peachtree Lanes in just a moment. We're ready now for the championship match to determine the national amateur champion in the 1991 Team USA National Finals. Paul Fleming working his way all the way from the 4 seed through 2 matches, rolling a 235 and a 226, will take on John East, who has used a conservative style to get to this championship match. And Kim Terrell, you were saying that East may be a little injured coming into this match.
Yeah, I was talking to him during practice, and he said that he really tore up his thumb right around the joint, so he's a little concerned. I don't think it's bleeding, but it's hurting pretty bad.
Fleming opens on the Brooklyn side, a strike to begin the championship match.
This man that's about to throw now, it's unbelievable to think that, a lot of people never shoot 700 in their life. Well, he shot 801 right-handed and turns around and shoots 715 left-handed.
Amazing.
Is that talent?
Okay, John. Get out of the split, leaves the 10.
A textbook player. He's got the basic timing, swing, straight through release. The arm swing stays straight, doesn't try to overpower the pins, pure accuracy, very low key, and just goes about his business.
He told me he was too old to have the cranking style of today's players, and maybe a nervous miss in frame number 1.
Yes, I'm sure he's jittery inside, even though he appears outside so calm. But I look for him to find that pocket and make this a real good match coming down the stretch. He'll be there in the 8th and 9th and 10th frame.
East has averaged 224.9 this week. And he comes in with a strike in the 2nd frame.
Let's see here if Paul can take advantage of that lucky Brooklyn shot here. Put a little more pressure. He's got an 11-pin lead. He can move that right to 20, 21 pins.
Fleming has bowled his best here on TV. Maybe he should bowl into the lights all the time.
I'm sure he'd go for that. You noticed when he hit that foul line, boy, he was solid at that foul line. It's fun to see somebody walk, create that kind of power with that kind of a loose swing, plant that left foot, and just swing it through and let it go and just feed it right to the pocket. Let's see if he can do it again.
And 3 in a row to start the championship match for Fleming. He looks so smooth, Fred. What might you work on with him as he joins your team for 92?
We'll probably work on more of the mental game, a little sports psychology with Dr. Shane Murphy at the Olympic Training Center. Talk to him about playing lanes and bowling equipment, not the physical game. He's got a great physical game.
And on the Brooklyn side, East strikes.
Here he is, just textbook style, gets it into the swing. Now on the second step, comes back over that right calf, up over the head, just stays right at the foul line now and just lets it roll. Just stays right there. Doesn't try to.
East, 38 years old, his wife and daughter with him here in Atlanta this week. Said that's really been a calming influence on him.
Yes, he falls into a pattern, though. He just gets into a pattern. He knows his tempo. He stays in his tempo. Even when he's moving around, if you notice, he's slow moving, sitting down. When he picks up his towel, he's sort of got that drum beat, that inner drum beat's very, very attuned, and he just stays there shot after shot.
Four in a row for Fleming. Wow.
I think this young man's looking at that National Amateur Championship saying, that belongs to me. Let's see, though. We've got a 4-bagger and an open 3-bagger, so we've got an exciting match on our hands.
Fred, we talked about 6 members on the team. What goes with being National Amateur Champion other than being able to call yourself that?
Well, if we were to be in the Olympics, the National Amateur Champion would be the representative in the Olympics. So the #1 seeds, just a tremendous, tremendous asset for a man's career also.
5 in a row for Fleming. Boy, he is in the zone.
Yes, and you know, that's what we work on at the training center. We out there, getting in that zone, trying to get in that zone and stay there and use that mental little voice in there talking to yourself, trying to keep that tempo right there and keep throwing that ball in the pocket.
A little high on the head pin. And East leaves 5.
I noticed John's sort of hanging onto the ball a little bit more today. Looks like he's got a little bit of the TV jitters. It's not as smooth. He's not as smooth right now as he was all week long. So, you know, he's been waiting here in the wings while everybody's bowling. Paul knows what the lanes are doing, so I think that's a big advantage right now.
Trying to convert on that strange split, but does not. And a second open frame for East in the championship match as we look at the United States 10-Pin Bowling Federation President Joyce Deach.
Joyce is a wonderful lady. I'll tell you, she does a lot of work for our organization, just countless hours, and it's just tremendous what she does for USTBF.
East tries to mix it up and leaves the 7.
Got that off his hand clean. He got through the ball a little bit better, got off his hand. Sometimes when it's not going quite right, you don't get the break either. He just never got the pins to bounce off domino fashion over there and carry that 7 out.
East converts in the 6th, but he trails Fleming by a bundle. Fleming, who has opened with 5 in a row. And we'll come back to the Brunswick Peachtree Lanes in Atlanta, Georgia, with our National Amateur Championship match in just a moment.
Five, 226 in the first 5. That's quite a performance here to win the National Amateur Championship.
And perhaps gets a bit fortunate as he hits it dead on to avoid a split. So after 5 in a row and an 8 count for Fleming in the 6th frame.
Now he's going to try to flatten this ball out a little bit, not throw as much hook so that we can cover both pins. If you throw the big hook on this, and you can snap that front pin off that back pin very easily.
Covers it beautifully.
He's got his rhythm. He's into that rhythm.
46 pin lead for Fleming.
He's a nice young man. You know, I watch him all week. He's got a very pleasant way about him. In the bus going back and forth, talking with the other athletes, he's just going to be a great asset to be the National Amateur Champion if he holds up in this match.
Looks like he's holding up fine.
Doesn't get any better than that, does it? Is that fun to watch when somebody can throw that ball in that pocket? The 10 pins just virtually disappeared. It hit the pocket, just disappeared 10 right in the pit.
Does he have somewhat of an advantage being able to bowl all day today on this championship pair?
Yes, most definitely. You know, when you get dialed into that pair, he knew what ball, he knew where to play the lanes. The player that's waiting in the wings comes into the match a little bit, just has that little question in their mind. Am I going to figure the lanes out? But I think in John's case, you know, he's got that raw thumbs tore up. There's nothing worse in our sport than to have a tore open thumb where you can't feel the ball, the pain, and that's what bowling is. It's a feel of that ball on your hand.
The 2-8. What a nice spare. He's hanging in there.
He's a very cool customer. This kind of a match is good. Look at this, right dead on the nose. Now you miss an inch and a half right, an inch and a half left. You miss that spare. So that's the kind of accuracy from 60 foot these players have.
And it comes back with a strike in the 8th.
There's the John East that we know. Let it go a little cleaner.
East last night in the final match of match play against Vince Biondo was quite a performance at 235 to 225. They went right down to the 10th frame.
To be the #1 seed here today.
Fleming says, give me that National Amateur Championship.
Oh, and to see a young man play like this, and I'll guarantee that John East will be a calming factor on our team. He's the oldest player on the team at 33 years old. And when you say you've got these kind of players, and we have all 6 players. I mean, all 6 players, it's just a matter of who carried the corner pins was going to be on the show playing here today for this title.
Fleming leaves the bucket in the 9th.
You know, I'll be looking forward when we can get the 6 players in the room. And we have our bonding meetings out at the Olympic Training Center. And we talk, what position do you like to bowl in the lineup? What do you like to hear when you're playing? Do you like to clap hands? No, I don't like that. Well, then we'll leave you alone. But we have some real interesting things that we do at the training center with our 6 players.
Fleming converting everything.
So he just flattens this out, throws it harder, puts it on line, hits that lead pin, and just covers all 4 with the ball.
He's trying to stay mathematically in this match.
Mathematically, Paul is the National Amateur Champion, but I'll guarantee that John's going to throw these shots here to the best of his ability. His pride's still on the line. He still wants to put a respectable score on the board, and he can finish here with a 5-bagger.
And that will do it. Fleming will wrap it up with that shot. There's no way for East to catch up now.
You could just tell at the bottom of the swing, he just doesn't have the feel on that hand. And when that feel on the hand isn't there, it's very difficult to make shots and repeat. You feel that thumb in the ball. You get to the bottom of the swing, you must feel your thumb release out of the ball, and the fingers feel the pitch of the ball out on the lane surface. And he's lost that feel.
So John East will finish second, the runner-up to Paul Fleming, who will roll out the string in the 10th frame. Possible 254.
Be some happy people at the University of Nebraska.
Cornhusker fans will be smiling. Right in the midst of a football season, they can celebrate a bowling championship.
So I think the bowling gods was on Paul's side. He just threw the Brooklyn shot there. When it's happening, it's happening. And some days you can't buy a strike, and then some days everything falls.
Yeah, if he converts that, it's a 244, and what an impressive showing for Paul Fleming here today. A 235, a 226, and a possible 244 here in the championship match. There it is. Fleming wins it with a 244 in the championship match. There is your National Amateur Championship.
To see this young man bowl 705, first time on national TV. That is a tremendous performance to become a national amateur champion. There's the teammates up congratulating him. There's Pat Healy, the executive director, shaking his hand. This is a very good moment for this young fellow.
Well, an impressive showing for Paul Fleming, an easy winner in the championship match over John East, who struggled with that open in the first and another open in the 5th and 10th frames. And Paul Fleming was not to be denied here today. We'll come back with the awards presentation to Paul Fleming, the National Amateur Champion for 1991. Here's a look at the 1991 National Amateur Champion, Paul Fleming from the University of Nebraska. Paul, congratulations.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the crowd here. It's been a great tournament all week. The crowd's been out here supporting us. It's just been a great week. Words can't explain it. The bowlers, the competitors were real friendly to each other. They supported each other, especially today on the show. The tournament was run real good. It's just been a great tournament. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out here and watching us today. Just thank you.
Paul, you started with a 235 in your opening match, and you never slowed down. You finished strong as well in that championship match. When did you know you were on a roll today?
After my first ball, I was a bit nervous, and I just wanted to get it off my hand. So, and then after that, I kind of relaxed a little bit more. And I've been on TV before, so that kind of helped relieve the tension. But
Fred, you're now going to coach this young man. Do you have any words of wisdom or questions for your national amateur champion?
It just made my job real easy. When you get talent like this young man to work with, we're looking forward to the kickoff of the 92 year out at the Olympic Training Center. We'll spend our first 8 days there, and we'll start having some fun.
And you're looking forward, I'm sure, to work with Fred.
Yes, I am. I'm really looking forward to the training center and working with all the Team USA representatives and everybody. And it just sounds like a lot of fun.
And now some hardware to present. Joyce Deach and Jerry Koenig from the USTBF are here to present you your championship trophy.
Congratulations, Paul. We're very, very proud of you and glad to have you on our team. How about a hug, David?
Thanks.
Once again, our congratulations, and now we'd like to welcome in our second and third place finishers. Vince Biondo, who finished third, and John East, who finished second. John, congratulations on your performance all week long, and Vince as well. Fred, you've got a strong team for 1992.
Look at this, and I can, you know what? I don't have to look up to them, look right in their eye. I'll tell you, I'm just glad to be with these young people. They're the greatest players in the United States right here, standing right here. It's going to represent our country in 1992.
Fred, as we have seen, especially in this championship round here today, you have a wide variety of talent to work with as well.
Yes, we have the big hook ball player. We have the Mr. Cool here. And we have the young player that just goes out there, the pure stylist. Then with Pat Healy to join the team, and our other two players, you know, we have 6 real strong players. It's just going to be fun. We're just going to sit back, and when they play with the kind of experience these people have from their collegiate program, from the YABA program, from all the tournaments they've played, our job's going to be fun just to watch them go out and just bring home the gold.
Paul, one more comment from you. What's it feel like to be national amateur champion?
Feels great.
I think that sums it up.
Yeah.
Congratulations to all our competitors here today.